Hello and welcome to another low budget video from Auto Carrier Assistant. My name is Julie and today I'm bringing you part 3 of the DataQ series, and this one we'll be talking about dispute and violations. So in this video we're going to take you through the steps that are needed in DataQs to be able to submit a dispute on violations. So we'll talk about two cases, one of them where the violations are associated with a citation. If you have gone to court and some citations, some violations have been dismissed in court, unfortunately, the court system does not talk to the FMCSA systems. So it really becomes your job to come here to DataQs and let FMCSA know that those violations were dismissed. And you will also be liked and dismissed from your records. So this is the way to do it. The second case we're going to talk about is when violations are not correct, or maybe they are listed multiple times. Maybe they just, duplicate. So, all right, let's get right to it. And I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We have a lot of content on the works, and you don't want to miss any of it. So, all right, in DataQs now, I'm logged on. And the first thing you want to do is click on Start New Request. That's going to bring you to the area where you select what kind of review are you submitting. So we're going to be doing an inspection dispute. So we're going to click on the first one. That area is going to go green. And at the bottom, just go ahead and click on Next. That's going to bring us to step 2, search for your report. And here, the quickest way to find your report is by entering the state, select it from the drop down, and enter the report number. And just about everywhere, from the inspections to some of the systems in FMCSA, the report number is made up of the state plus 10 alphanumerical characters. Here, the state and the report number, they kind of get split up. So the state will be CO for Colorado, and the report number is going to be whatever 10 characters follow. So in the report number field, just go ahead and enter those 10 characters. When ready, click on search. And if the system finds your record, it's going to list it right here. I'm going to click on it just to select it, and the system is going to come back and just confirm that, hey, this is the one that you want. Here it is. So nothing else for me to do here. Just click on next. And on step 3, we're going to choose the reason for the request. So we're going to choose this option, the citation associated with a violation. So go ahead and click on that. It's going to turn green, and it's going to open up this text box. It's quite a few lines in here to read. Basically, they're just making sure that you have gone to court, that you have some sort of result there, and that you have the information that you need. So the section here at the bottom is telling you what you're going to have to provide. So you're going to need the inspection report number, the state, the date of the inspection. It's line 2, you're going to need the citation number and the violation codes. And line 3, an explanation or a description of the violations that you're disputing. And in line 4, you're going to need the court papers. Whatever you got from court indicating the resolution, make a digital copy, scan it, make a copy. You're going to need to submit that. Now, where do you get the inspection information? Most likely you have a copy of the inspection report. That'll be the easiest way, and that'll be the most accurate way to get the information, because you'll have it all in one place. So the report number is at the top, and you'll have a table at the bottom for all the violations. The violation code column is right here, listing all your codes. The citations, if any, they're listed right here. and the description for those violations are also listed there. So, like I said, everything is in one place. If you have that inspection report, you could also go to the portal. And at the portal, you can look up that inspection. And when you look into the details, you'll find the report number in this section here. And at the bottom for the violations, you'll find a column for the codes, the descriptions, and those citation numbers. Now you can also go to SMS, and in SMS, you'll find the report number in this area, and the violation codes and descriptions, they'll be in here. But one thing you're not going to have is the citation numbers. That's not in part of this view. So one of the things that they ask you is to submit a copy of the inspection. So if you don't have the portal copy, or if you don't have the actual paper copy, you could do this one, as long as you also submit a copy of the citation, listing all the violation codes. So here at the bottom, you'll see that they're recommending for you to submit a copy of the inspection report and a copy of the citation. So now, you might actually want to submit all this because you want to make the job of that person on the other end. You want to make their job a little easier. Now, every state has a DataQs analyst. So that person is looking at all these DataQs coming in. So if you provide all this information ahead of time as part of this request, it makes it easier for them, because now they don't have to go and look it up anywhere else. They will have all that information right then and there, and the resolution from them might actually, materialize a little sooner, which is something that you want. So again, anything that you can give them to help them make a decision, provide it ahead of time. All right, so when you're done reading and collecting all your stuff, you can scroll down a bit and click on the next button to bring you over to the next section. And here is the complete request details. Now, at the beginning, when we search for the inspection report, the system found it. And that's good, because now all this information here is pre-populated for you. So you don't have to fill this in. You can just check to make sure that the inspection area looks okay. Make sure that the carrier information looks okay. And when ready, scroll down, and you'll get to the fun part. This is where you actually get to enter all these codes and your reason for dispute. So in the top drop down, where did you view the data you want to review? So here I'm going to select the inspection report. So I got a copy from the driver. I looked at all the citation was there. So I took that to court, and I have all this information ready to provide. So I saw the information on my inspection report. You could also list SMS. You can list the portal. Any of those options is a valid option. So once you make your decision here, your selection, and start going to the bottom. So from top to bottom, let's look at these fields. The federal violation code from the inspection. So this is the code that I'm telling them that is part of that citation. And this is the description for that violation. And here's the citation number. So as an example, I'm just entering this number right here as the citation number. And at the bottom, you have another drop down. And here is going to list all the options that could be part of the resolution from court. So whatever the decision was, in this case is not guilty, dismissed, go ahead and make the choice there. And let's go over to the big text box. And here's when you get to explain what is it that you want reviewed, and what do you want the outcome to be from this review. Depending on your circumstance, this might actually might require more than one line. I would suggest, if you think the explanation here is going to take more than 5-10 lines, I would suggest write that out somewhere else. You can either type it up on your computer, open up a notepad file and type it up in there, or write it out on a piece of paper. And the idea is that sometimes when we start typing in boxes, forms like this, we tend to not be accurate. We might have like run-on sentences that don't make any sense, or maybe it might make sense to us, but not to anybody else. So write it out somewhere else. Explain in detail, maybe even have another set of eyes take a look and just to make sure that the explanation is correct and it makes sense. So when you're ready, you can just come here and do like a copy and paste. Just put it in there when you're ready to submit it. But yeah, it depends on the case. And in this case, I'm just doing a simple line. I submitted a video from my dash cam, so court was able to tell that those violations were not accurate, so they dismissed the whole thing. When you're ready, you can just go ahead and click on Enter Violation, and you'll see that it gets listed down at the bottom here. If you have more than one violation to part of that citation and you also want to dispute it, you can go ahead through that process again, enter all the code, the description, the reason, and enter the violation. So you got to do that for every violation code that you're trying to dispute. When you're ready, move down to the bottom area, and here you're going to attach any documentation that is going to help your case. For in this case, when you're actually dealing with a citation and court results, you want to submit a copy of your inspection, like they recommended to do. You want to submit a copy of the citation, the paperwork from court, anything that will indicate that they dismissed the violations. So I'll do one as an example. On the top area, you're going to enter a title for the document. In this case, I am going to click on the drop down and I'm going to click on citation. So I'm going to provide a copy of my citation. Now, in the middle area, in the gray area, I'm just going to drag and drop the document right in, and you'll see that right now it says citation 2021.txt. That's the document that I put in. So I dragged it, dropped it right there. It became part of my request. So now click on Add File. And when you click on Add File, it becomes part of that table here on the right. If you have any more documents to upload, do the same thing again. Select the title, drop the document in there, attach file, and this is going to be ready to upload. So once you're ready, go down to the bottom of this form and click on Next. And that's going to bring us to the last step, and this is where you get to review your request. Everything is on one page. I'm just giving you here the top and bottom. So just go through the request, make sure that everything looks okay, make sure that all your explanations look okay. And at the bottom, click on that box and click on Submit. So now you're going to get an email, and it's also going to be displayed on the screen. DataQs is going to assign a number to this request. So make a note of that, because every time you talk to tech support, or if you talk to SMCSA, if you talk to the state, first thing they're going to ask you is, what's the DataQ's ID? It makes it a little easier for them to go and find it. Because if not, they're going to have to use like maybe your DOT number, maybe your inspection report number, or maybe the name of the person who entered that request. And the forms, when they actually trying to look you up, those searches don't really work that well. Quickest and easiest way to find this request in the system is by using that number. So please make a note of that, and whenever required, just give it to them. All right, so that was the first case. That was citations, violations associated with citations. Let's look at the second case. So, for example, so if I'm looking at my SMS inspections, or if I'm looking at my driver's inspections, I take a look at the violations and I see that I get this one here. 392.2 LV is the code. The description says lane restriction violation. And I also noticed that down at the bottom, I have another 392.2 LV with another lane restriction violation. The descriptions look a little different, and I also see one more, 392.2 ML with a failure to maintain lane. So now I'm not an expert in codes and descriptions like listed here, but to me, when I look at this, it kind of looks like they're all the same. So is it that my driver got uh, one infraction and it will list in three different violation codes? It could be. So at this point, I don't know. Best thing to do, submit the DataQs request to have this dispute going on. And so just a little quick side note here, just to let you know, this came from a real case in DataQs. And it just happens that those bottom two violations, they were found to be duplicates of the top one. And from the case that we just worked on before, that one there with the citation, the top one with the citation, that got dismissed in court. So that was also removed from here. So two different data queues requests that had to be entered, one for the citation and one for the duplicate violation listing, but all those violations were removed. So I always say, if there is a small change to have something removed, might as well submit it, because the worst thing that can happen is they're gonna say no. They're going to deny the request. Everything else is going to stay the same. But if you have a small chance to have something removed, if you have a good explanation in your case to help your case, might as well do it. It really just takes a few minutes to enter the request, and the result could be on your favor. All right, so let's go through the data queues and see how we're going to work on this request. So now in data queues, I'm logged on, and I start a new request by clicking on this button. I'm gonna move a little quicker here. You already know most of these screens. All right, so here I'm going to choose my inspection selection, and once it turns green, I can go ahead and click on next. On my step 2, I'm going to search on my report. I'm going to click and select the state, and I'm going to enter my report number. Now click on search. The system is going to find it, and it's going to list it right here. I'm going to click on it to select it. The system is going to confirm it by giving me, the same listing again. Now I just have to click on next. Brings me over to step 3, the reason for request. And this time I'm selecting the third option. My violation was listed multiple times. So click on that to select it, and you'll see that it's going to turn green. Now click on next. And now here's the form. This is the form that I need to complete, because the system family inspection, a lot of this is already pre-populated for me. So this is the inspection details. That all looks good. Looking at the carrier side, that all looks good. Now here in the middle, if you scroll down, you get to this section. Where did I view the data? So when I click on that drop down, I'm going to select my inspection report. That's where I saw the multiple listings of the violations. Now in the middle, the federal violation code. What am I trying to dispute? So I enter the code, I enter a description, and then in the big box, I'm going to enter the reason. So here I'm just saying, it seems like I was given 2 violations for the same infraction. I think these 2 guys are the same, so I'm pleading for them to remove the duplicate. In this case, in that list, there were 3. I'm just keeping it down to 2, just keeping it simple for the example. So when I'm done here, I'm just going to click on Enter Violation. I'm moving down to the bottom area. If I wanted to submit documentation here, maybe I could send a copy of the inspection. I didn't go to court for this, so it's just me looking at the review and the inspection. So I don't have any other documentation to submit. So I select a title, most likely just going to send the inspection report, if anything. I can select that from the drop down menu. In the middle, I'm going to drag and drop my inspection report. And at the bottom, I'm going to click on add file to make that file now part attached to the request. So when I'm done there, it's going to bring me over to step 5. And here I get to review the request. Top to bottom, just go through everything that you enter, everything that is listed as part of the request, check it, make sure everything makes sense. At the bottom, click on that box and then click on submit. Again, this is going to give you a request ID number. Save it. You're going to need that every time you discuss the request. All right, so that was not too bad. Yes, I went through it, and it's not a real case, but it really does not take that long. As long as you have that inspection report in front of you, you'll be able to copy those codes, and you'll be able to copy the descriptions. It really will not take that long. The reasons for submitting the request, keep them clear, keep them concise. Don't go, don't over explain. Just keep it right to the point. Again, think about the person who's reading that and make it a little easier for them to understand. If you have long explanations, or if you have to submit other paperwork, you can do it. You can attach it. So if you have a couple of pieces of paper to submit with an explanation, scan them and submit it. It won't hurt, but keep them, just keep everything clear. All right, so that should do it. So we went through a couple of scenarios. First one with violations that were part of a citation, and the next one, multiple violations. So stay tuned for more content. A couple of videos in progress right now. One of them is on crash records, and the other is on timing. How long does it take? When you submit a DataQs request, how long does it take for this inspection to be corrected and resubmitted to the FMCSA systems? And finally, how long is it going to take to appear in SMS? That's what everybody's looking at, right? The insurance companies are looking at that, and brokers are looking at SMS. So how long is it going to take for that record to get corrected in there? So we're working on a video that is going to talk about that. So, all right, stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so you don't miss anything coming up. All right, until next time.